What's up, BSG family? It's K-Star. It is like hella late, but I'm gonna go ahead and make my Thursday thoughts video anyway. I've tried to make this video a few times, and then I go to like watch it before I post it, and my camera keeps freezing, and you can hear the audio, but I just quit moving, and of course it freezes in like some really hilarious face. But I don't know, my computer's just being weird, so I'm gonna try this one more time, see if it works. But anyway, what have I been thinking about this week? Oh, I have tried to make this video a couple times in the past weeks, and how I'm going to say this just never comes out right. It just never sounds as good as it does in my head. But we're going to try. So, I don't know. I've been thinking over the past couple weeks, like, I wonder how people perceive me now. Which, it sounds so stupid. Like, why do we care? I'm the kind of person I just sort of do my own thing, and if you are into it, that's cool. If you're not, like, that's fine too. I don't really care, but I don't know, I'm just genuinely curious if people, when they first meet me, if they still classify me as, like, a really overweight person or not. Because, I think at 300 pounds, it's pretty obvious that I was. So, I don't know if people, like, when they meet me now, are they like, oh, damn, this chick is big, or do they view me as average? Like, I don't know. I just really wonder. And I guess it's because I have noticed people sort of treating me differently, especially in my workplace. Like, not necessarily my coworkers, because most of them knew me when I was really big, and so they've kind of been with me on this whole journey, and they're all, like, really supportive and everything, and it's great. But, like, with my clients, new clients, I feel like when I was 300 pounds, people would kind of push the envelope with me more, or maybe they thought I was going to be a bigger pushover than I am. I don't know. It's really hard to explain. But, okay, I'm a cosmetologist. As you guys know, I do hair and makeup. And it is not completely inappropriate for people to, like, haggle with you in my line of work a little bit. Like, when I'm doing consultations or I'm giving, like, quotes for certain services, a lot of times people will ask for some kind of discount or if you have a special or whatever, and that's fine. Like, everybody likes a deal, and that's cool. But I feel like people, when I was 300 pounds, would really try to, like, work me over for a good deal. And I'm good at what I do. I've done it for a while now, and I have credentials. I have certain certifications and things like that I've earned over the course of my career. And, so I would get really annoyed with people who I felt like were being really cheap, or they were just, like, trying to get you to give them free stuff or whatever. And I just didn't like that, because I would never do that to a person. I would never go in and be like, hey, I want you to do something for me, but I don't want to pay for it. Like, I just think it's kind of rude to expect people to not get paid for their work. But I feel like people do that less with me now. Like, now when I'm doing consults and I tell people how much it's going to be, they're just kind of like, okay, and they're either okay with it or not. They're not okay with it. People, like, one of my girls came in tonight, and I've done her hair a couple times, and I gave her a price quote for what she was thinking about, and she was like, okay, I'm gonna go home and look at my schedule and look at my bills for the month, and I'll see if I can swing it. And I was like, all right, cool, give me a call. And I'll definitely work with people on pricing or whatever. But, before I felt like people were like, oh, it's that much? Well, I was sort of thinking about this price. What, can you do that or whatever? I felt like people would really haggle with me. And now I just feel like people are kind of like, okay, sure, that's fine, whatever. And I don't know if that was just different people that I'm dealing with. Some people are really cheap. Some people aren't, whatever. Or maybe I'm more confident now. And so I'm being subtly, like, more assertive, and so people don't feel like they can do that with me. Like, I don't know. I really don't know. It's just been a strange observation I've made in my work life recently. So, I don't know. Has that happened to you guys? Do you feel like people treat you differently now? I feel like people take me more seriously now. I think that's what I'm trying to say. I really feel like people take me more seriously now. Which is sort of interesting, So I don't know. Has that happened to you guys? Do people treat you differently now? Do you feel like they do? I'm curious. And also, I've been having some thoughts lately that I feel so bad about. Like, when I first told some of my friends and coworkers that I was considering having weight loss surgery, they did not say the typical things. The typical things that got said to me was either like, oh, I think that's good, or congratulations, or I'm happy for you, or whatever. Or people would say, oh, I think that's really drastic. Are you sure? You're so young. You could probably lose the weight on your own. Blah, blah, blah. Those to me are like the normal responses. The response that I got from a few of people who are pretty close to me was not the normal. They would say things like, you're gonna be such a bitch. I had quite a few of my close friends and coworkers say something like that to me, like, oh, you're gonna be really mean when you're skinny. And I'm like, fuck, seriously? That's what you guys think of me? And I know that I can be kind of intimidating. I can be kind of harsh because I'm very direct. I don't know. I have no issue with confrontation, but I don't necessarily go and seek it out. But I'm not a pushover, even though I felt like people kind of maybe thought I was. But I don't know. It was just funny to me how many people actually said that. And I've been thinking about some stuff lately that I'm like, oh my God, are they right? Am I turning into a really mean, bitchy person? Because one of my coworkers, I was doing her hair tonight, and she asked me, do you feel like you view overweight people differently now? And I was like, well, not really, because I'm overweight. Like, I'm still considered obese. If you look at my BMI, I still have like 60 pounds to lose. Like, no, I totally don't view that any differently. And she's like, no, like, do you see people who are maybe like the same size you were when you had surgery, and like, do you feel differently about them? And I was like, well, I want to tell them about the surgery. I want to be like, you don't have to be fat your whole life, Like, I would never just go up to a stranger and say that, but, I do feel like I want to educate them about this surgery and be like, you have options, like, if you're struggling, like, there is help or whatever. So, I said that, and she was like, oh, well, I'm just kind of wondering, like, if you have friends that you said are thinking about having surgery. She's like, how you feel about that? And then I kind of got to thinking about that, and I have talked about that in the past, about how some of my friends that have talked about having surgery, some of them are like ready and they get it, and like they're totally ready to accept all the changes and actually like commit to them. And then I have some friends that I talk to them and I can kind of tell that they're kind of not ready to commit to those things. And I was kind of thinking about that, and I was like, maybe I am a little bit less tolerant of other people's excuses. Not so much just like intolerant of them being overweight, like not at all, but of their excuses for why they're overweight, because I'm totally like the queen of excuses. I've made lots of stupid excuses for still being overweight, but I feel like I'm less tolerant of them now, or I guess I don't identify with them anymore, because used to, I would sort of commiserate with my other overweight friends about why we were fat. And now I don't identify with those things anymore, because I know that they're all bullshit. Like, no offense, but a lot of them are bullshit. Saying that you don't have time to work out, or saying that the only reason you're fat is because of, bad genetics, or because you're on certain medications. Like, I know all those things are a factor, but I don't think any single one of them is a reason to be overweight like all the time. I mean, I know there's extenuating circumstances, but I've totally said stuff like that before, like, oh yeah, I don't have time to work out, or whatever, and it's just not true. Like, you can set priorities, and I truly believe that if you want something bad enough, you will make it happen. You will do what it takes to make it happen. So I spoke about before, like, how certain things are becoming, like, fitness and stuff is becoming a bigger part of my life, and it's sort of edging out other things. And some of those things are people, which is really weird for me, because I guess I didn't expect that or whatever, and it's hard for me. Like, I don't want to have to cut people out of my life, but I don't have room in my life right now for negativity. And I feel like there are some people in my life who are still at that point in their journey where they are making bad excuses and they're not taking responsibility for their own mistakes. And I just don't have room for those kinds of people in my life, because seriously, like, being around negative people will drag you down. Like, it's so much easier to get caught up in that than it is to pull other people up out of it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't want to be insensitive to my friends or whatever, because I know that losing weight and being overweight is very difficult. But I no longer make excuses for that situation. I am doing what it takes to remedy that problem in my life. And I'm just sad that it took me so long to get there. You know what I mean? So I told her that. I was like, I guess I'm just I'm less tolerant of other people's excuses, and hopefully that doesn't make me like a bad or bitchy person. Because I truly believe that people need to do what they need to do to get to where they're going. And I definitely had to go through that phase for a very long time before enough was truly enough, and I was totally ready to make a change. But I feel like I am gravitating more towards people who are also in a transitional period of their lives. Because I just don't want to be around people who are still in the I can't, I won't, I don't phase. The only time I'm going to use those words is when I say things like, I can't engage in the unhealthy habits that I engaged in when I was 300 pounds. Or I won't continue to make excuses for being unhealthy, and I don't have room for negativity in my life. Like, that's the only way that I'm going to allow myself to think that way. Because saying, you know, like, I can't not eat bread for the rest of my life, or I won't count my calories, or I don't want to have to weigh out my food. Like, saying that stuff and making those excuses, all I have to say to the people who are still making excuses for being unhealthy and are still into the I can't, I won't, I don't phase is, how's that working out for you? Because I know it didn't work out very well for me. And it got me to a really unhealthy place in my life. And I don't want to go back there, you know, and that's the only way I'm going to let myself use those words, because it's very easy to feel that way. It's very easy to tell yourself that you can't live without certain things, and I promise you, you can. Because what I can definitely live without is being super morbidly obese and having diabetes and shit like that, you know. I definitely don't want that anymore. So I guess my tolerance level has gone way down, and I hope that doesn't make me a cold-hearted, bitchy person. But if it does, maybe that's okay too. I don't know. But for my friends who are out there still making excuses, still not owning up to your bad habits, and not willing to do the work yet, I truly, truly hope that you get there, because really, I'd like to know, how's it working out for you? Probably not great. And I have a person in my life right now, she's a friend of a client who is very much serious about the surgery, and I spent about an hour on the phone with her telling her way more information than I'm sure she wanted to know. She is the kind of person I want to be around right now, because she's fired up about her weight loss, and she's really excited about this whole experience. And that is the kind of person I feel like I need to surround myself with right now, is people who get it. And I don't feel like I have a lot of people in like my everyday personal life who are there right now, and it's hard for me, because I want to be around people who get it. I don't feel like I have a lot of people who understand right now, and it makes it really difficult. So I think I'm getting to a point where I actually need to start trying to go to support groups again, because I'm getting really frustrated with saying things to people and just feeling like they either don't get it or they don't give a shit. Like, you know, I want to be around other people who are also excited about this transition. And that's why I love this community so much, is because every single one of you get super excited about every little NSV or small triumph. Like, we all really support each other, and I think it's really awesome and really helpful. So I am in a place where I need more of that in my daily life, like in people that I can actually, that are tangible to me. You guys are not super tangible to me. I love you all, and I wish I could be around you more. I wish I had a lot of you more close to me and everything, but I feel like if I went to a support group and stuff, I can maybe find some people in my area that are. So I don't know, that's where I'm at right now. It's a really weird place to be, because I feel like I'm sort of edging certain people and certain things out of my life, and I didn't expect to have to do that. And what's even weirder is I don't feel bad about it. Like, I'm not really broken up about it. I'm just kind of like, you'll get there, and when you do, I'll be here for you, but right now I can't engage in those unhealthy activities with you anymore. So I've just sort of removed myself from certain circles, and I thought maybe it would be upsetting to me, but honestly, it's liberating to me. So I don't know. It's just kind of weird feeling. But anyway, that's what I'm thinking about this week. It's super late, so I'm probably gonna go to bed. And I still want to do the Q&A video, even though I'm not getting as much of a response from it as I expected, but that's cool. It's fine. Probably because I tell you guys flipping everything anyway. So what can you ask me that I haven't answered? But if you do still have a burning question you want me to answer, leave it in the comments. I will post about it on my Facebook again as well. I had a lot of people on my last video when I said I'm thinking about doing a Q&A, leave me a comment of a question you'd like me to answer. They commented, I think a Q&A would be fun, and then they didn't ask me anything, so I was like, okay, whatever. But anyway, if you do still have a question, please leave it in the comments here or on Tuesday's video, or on my Facebook, and I will answer it in a video on Sunday. So I will see you all then.